Oh, oh, oh.
Hey. Oh, hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to the second episode of Barcode. Don't mind us, we're just hanging out here in heaven. That's why everything's a little brighter than normal. Um, I'm here with Mr. Bandanas of the Gangster Like Claire. I'm JP Fury of Gangster Like Claire. Later, Zashi of the Gangster Like Claire. Probably something else will be around. Mm. We're just gonna talk a little bit about rainbows and chocolate, and a lot of what we say is gonna be complete and utter bullshit. Like we're just gonna make it up as we go along. So I figure I say that now to save anybody any type of like, if we talk about like, oh, remember that time I had sex with a dog or some shit, you don't believe it to be real, you know, maybe. Um, so of course, as always, we got our clove cigarettes here. I'm gonna smoke clove, unfiltered clove. So we say no to drugs. We kicked the drugs a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Mm. That is flavor country. We
Straight from Bangladesh.
got that. Yeah, Iranian tobacco. All right. So yeah, we're 2/3 of the gangster like Claire. And I wanted to talk a little bit about just rappers. Last week I talked about social media rappers, all you unmotivated musicians out there. Um, it was social media rappers, unmotivated musicians, and all the delusional musicians that think that everything you put out is gonna be the one, the thing.
It
No,
ain't.
yeah, it's never gonna be the thing ever. I'm sorry, I hate to tell you. hmm Why? Because a lot of you niggas give too much of a fuck about what you put out. Everything that you put out doesn't necessarily have to be your baby. If you want to be successful, you have to mimic what is already successful and what is mainstream. So if you want to be a mainstream rapper, if you want to be as big as Jay Z, you gotta do what Jay Z does. And there's nothing underground about Jay Z. There's nothing underground about 50 Cent. There's nothing underground about any of these huge rappers.
Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense. So 5 mil ain't been rhyming like common sense, right?
Something like that. um, yeah, so I mean that's a perfect example. Like look at Common when Common was underground. Like he had that hood love. Everybody loved Common in the streets and all of that shit. But he was a conscious rapper. And then your man blows up, and really he's a pop star like the rest of these rappers. These wanna be rap gods and all of that stupid shit. Mm. I personally, I want to be as big as Jay Z, as big as Jay Z. I want that guap. Give me like 500-600 mil, I'll be a happy motherfucker. But I know that I'm never gonna make it to that far. That's not to say that we don't believe in what we do. We believe in what we do. We just know that what we do is not for everybody. You know, um, we fight about that a lot at times. Well, mostly me and Bandanas. We always butt heads on it because Bandanas wants to go in like the more artsy direction, like where like to have more importance to people who understand music better. Whereas I normally want to go like into the dumb nigga on the street corner. I want that kind of respect. I want that hood love. I don't, so like but we always at the end of the day we always find a way to compromise where we can do some weird shit that a hood nigga would feel, and I've noticed that a lot. hmm
Word. They don't talk much.
Yeah. um, for me, like a cool thing that happened the other day. Actually, last night I was at the rec center, and that's where we all work. So I was at the rec center, And somebody was standing in front of the rec center while I was listening to one of the beats from Beat from Rainbows and Chocolate, called 911. It was a white dude, and he was just like standing there after we had already taken care of our business, and he was just like, "Oh, this is dope. I like this. What is this?" You know, and I was like, "Oh, this is that the Gangsta Like Clear." And he was like, "Oh, what is that? Are they new?" I was like, "Yeah, pretty new. Yada yada yada." I'm bullshitting the whole time, and then right before he left, I was like, "Actually, that's me." You know, he's like, "Oh, that's crazy. That's really dope. What are you listening to it on loop?" And I'm like, no, I'm practicing, yada yada. We talked, and I explained to him what it was and everything, and a couple seconds, and then fucking he left. Hopefully I'll see him again. But that song I was listening to in particular, there's nothing artsy about it. There's nothing. It's very straightforward. It's very repetitive. There's not a lot of chord changes and all that. It's just a song so you can rap over. And that's to me, that's what these motherfuckers want. Like they don't want to hear all the composition in the music. They don't want the music itself to tell them a story. They don't even want the lyricist to tell them a story. They just want some shit that they could like nod their head, shake their ass, and like a catchy phrase like "these hoes ain't loyal."
Yep. I think it's kind of like you just got to give them something every like 50 seconds. You got to give them something that they can say, "Oh, that was hot."
Yeah, exactly.
Let it stay in stasis for the next 45 seconds and put in that hot rhyme again, just so they think it's fresh.
Yeah, like nobody really cares about bars like that. They like it's hot. That's what they gonna remember.
Like Juicy is hot line to line, but when you step out and you see it's a whole rags to riches story, it's even hotter than it was,
And that's a fucking classic. And like I wanna do that. I wanna stay mainstream and like stay on that path so we can make that money. But I also want to make stuff that's timeless, and I feel like the only way that you can really make stuff that's timeless is if we go your route, like if we go to try to be artsy about it, try to be avant-garde, avant-thug, as Bandanas coined the phrase,
Yeah, I think the real way to the last thing, whatever it is to be honest with yourself and don't give a shit about anyone else. Like,
I think now, for us, the first thing that we ever put out as the Gangsta Like Claire was Expeditions in the Avant-Garde. That was a collaborative effort where Nick, who's that? Well, we had a producer at the time named Nick, but where Bandanas and I just went in the studio. Bandanas gave me the full reins, and then like Bandanas was there to be my Zen master for that. He was there to just be like, okay, don't do that, do this, try this instead of doing that, change this to that, And a lot of those songs are Expeditions. We came into it with no lyrics whatsoever, and it's just turn on the microphone and like let's see what happens, And that's what gave it that really like crazy avant-garde feel to it, It was like a perfect blend of my crazy weird pop ratchet shit, and Bandanas is like just direction and production, not so much as part of production as in producing music, but just guiding it. You know what I mean? He made that project whole. The second thing we did was Dope Love, and it was kind of the same process, only we went into Dope Love with an idea of what we wanted to do. The whole concept was basically like it was for a female, and it was to mock everything that was popular at the time back in February of 2014. All the shit, all the Future sounding shit, the Drake sounding shit, the weird fucking pop music where all rappers are singing and hitting high notes and falsettos and weird stupid shit like that. That was the whole concept behind Dope Love. That, and at the time Dope Love was being made, we were being courted by by some dude who
let's just call him Russell.
Yeah, let's just call him Russell, an associate of a man named Russell S. Apparently, and I could throw this one out there, Teddy Riley. I could actually say Teddy Riley's full name. We never got in any type of contact with Teddy Riley, even though this associate of Mr. Riley swore up and down. So like we were trying to make something that would pop those people's ears if they heard it, you know. And it came out really good. Like the initial numbers bigger than we had ever expected. So really, that was more of an introduction to what the Gangsta Like Claire was all about than anything. And after that, I kind of felt like because that was received so well, we kind of had to stay in that lane a little bit. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with Rainbows and Chocolate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, but more so, not necessarily trying to go out of our way to make a pop rap album. Just a bunch of weird shit. If you put a bunch of weird shit together that people would normally expect to go together, is it still good? So this is more of an experiment on our part.
Yeah.
Say something, anything.
Well, Rainbows and Chocolate for me was a completely different idea.
Mm-hmm.
It was a completely different. I had a completely different conception. Rainbows and Chocolate was supposed to be an exploration into one man's mind over the course of several tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to sound very purple.
I love that idea though.
So then maybe the Purple album will talk